Right, fellas, this video is on AP Calculus AB official sample exam released by College Board. This is section 2. There is already a video on section 1 on my channel, so you can check that out as well. It is on multiple choice question, and this is FRQ. So we're going to do two questions, part A, calc active, and part B, calculator not active. I'll make sure to put the chapters as well as the link in the description so that you can download this worksheet. And if you need private tutoring, feel free to reach out. Okay, all right. We're given a table here, some vehicles per hour and hours and all that, and some situations given that on a certain weekday, the rate at which vehicles cross a bridge is modeled by the differentiable function. This is where R is measured in vehicles per hour, and T is the number of hours since 7 a.m., which is considered T equal to 0. Values of R for selected values of T are given in the table above. Use the data in the table to approximate R prime 5. Show the computations that lead to your answer. Use correct units. Explain the meaning of R prime 5 in the context of the problem. Okay, so R prime 5, since this is an approximation, I'm just going to approximate R prime 5 as the slope of the neighbors, taking the, the points in the neighbor. So neighbors are these. So I'll say y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is going to be the thing. And if I find that 3010 minus 3442 over 2, negative 216, unit is very important. The unit is going to be, since it is an approximation, right? This is an estimation. Maybe I want to put a squiggle symbol over here because this is an estimation. And the unit is going to be the unit of R over unit of T. So unit of R is vehicles per hour, and then the unit of T is already R. So it's vehicle per hour, or it's going to be vehicle per hour square. Vehicle per hour square. That's how the unit will look like. Okay, the description is very important. Negative sign means you have to use the appropriate word, which is decreasing. So I'm going to say that at T equal to 5 hours, or if you want to be more precise, 5 hours after 7, which is at noon, right? Or at noon, the vehicles, the rate at which vehicles are decreasing is negative, or since we have already used the word decreasing, there's no need to put negative, is 216 vehicles per hour or per hour square. That's how we write our answer to part A. Okay, use a midpoint sum with 3 subintervals of equal length indicated by the table to approximate this particular value. Right, okay, so midpoint, I think I'm just going to do it over here. So midpoint is going to be, since this is also an approximation, so I'm going to put a squiggle symbol. 3 means the width is going to be, since the total length is 12 and there are 3 intervals, so each width is going to be of 4 units. So let me clear this up. So it is going to be 4 units, as in 0 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 12. So width is common, so I'm just going to put the width outside. And midpoint means you will just take the middle values of all the intervals, middle y values. So you will take 3, 6, 5, 3, then 30, 10, and then 1, 9, 8, 6. That should be your approximation. Once again, the units are very important here because you are integrating R. Be careful, since you're integrating R, you are going to get the unit of vehicles only, right? So you will get these many vehicles. So this number, if I calculate this, comes out as 596 vehicles. That is going to be your approximation using the midpoint Riemann. Okay, then they are saying on a certain weekday, the rate at which the vehicles cross the bridge is modeled by this function now. So we have to disregard the table now for the moment. And okay, for 0 to 17, where h is measured in, again, vehicles per hour, and t is the number of hours, and according to this model, what is the average number of vehicles crossing the bridge per hour on the weekday from 0 to 12? Since h is already a function that is modeling vehicles per hour, and I need to find the average value, so isn't that a fancy way of asking what is the average value of a function? And the average value of a function is given by 1 over b minus a, where b is 12 and a is 0. Integration from 0 to 12 of h of t d of t. This is going to be what do you call it as the average value. The unit will still be same, vehicles per hour, because this is just the average value of this. So basically returning the same function or the same output. Right. I'm just gonna plug this in Desmos. So let me share my Desmos over here. It's a gross function. So what I usually do is I will type in that function, although it is written as h of t, I can just define as f of x. So minus x cube minus 3x square plus 288x plus 1300. And in the next step, I'm going to type in I and t. Lower bound is 0, upper bound is 12, and then I'm going to type in just f of x d of x, so that I don't have to type that entire thing once again. But remember that there is a divided by 12 as well. So I put a parentheses here, a close parentheses, so it will open automatically, and over 12. So my answer should be 2452 over here. Let me share the board again. Yeah, 2452, and the unit I have already mentioned, vehicles per hour. Right, guys, I hope this makes sense. And for the last part, they are saying for 12 to 17, which is okay. L of t is the local linear approximation of the function at t equal to 12, is a better model for the rate at which the vehicles cross the bridge on the weekend. So use L of t to find the time between 12 and 15 at which the rate at which the vehicles are crossing the bridge is 2000 vehicles per hour. So first we need to figure out what is the equation of this L of t. So L of t needs two things. One is the slope at this point and the y value at this point, so that I can use the point slope form. Y value is pretty straightforward. I'm just going to plug in this entire thing over here using calculators. So h of 12 is going to be the y value, which I will find using Desmos. And h prime of 12 is going to be the slope. Right? I hope this is clear. So the equation will look like y minus h of 12, whatever will come here, is equal to m is this, times x minus, I think 12, right? That's where we are approximating. Of course, you can change the x to t because that's the variable that they are using. So I'm going to say t minus this, and y also you can change to L of t because that's the variable again that they are using. So L of t minus whatever that is. So let me share my Desmos once again, and we already have that function typed in, luckily. I'm just going to cross this, and I need the values of f of 12 and f prime of 12. There you go. So I'm writing on the screen first, and I'll share it in a minute. It's 2596 I'll write here, and this is negative 216 that I'll write here. Now let me share my board again. Yeah, there you go. So these are the two values that I literally got from Desmos that I have just written over here. I hope there's no confusion so far. And this I'm gonna plug in over here. So negative 216, be careful, sorry, 2596, and the slope is negative 216. Okay. So use L of t to find the time at which it becomes 2000. So we are supposed to find the t value, not the L of t. So L of t is now given as 2000. So 2000 minus 2596 is equal to negative 216 t minus 12. And now we have to find the time from here. So I think this is, I can just use my physical calculator here. 2000 minus 2596 is negative 596 is equal to negative 216 times t minus 12. Divide both sides by negative 216. So I'm going to get 2.75926 is equal to t minus 12, and add 12 both the sides. So we are going to get 14.75926. Yeah, up to 3 decimal places. Yeah, that should be. What is the unit, by the way? Hours, right? The units are very important. These many hours it will take to do that. L of t equal to 2000. Remember, this is a local linear approximation, so this is just an approximation, just the way they have said. Yeah, I hope the calculator version, this question makes sense. Let's jump to no calc. Okay, all right. We are given a graph over here. I think, yeah, this should be a good view. We are given a graph over here, which is f prime. Remember, f prime, not f. So twice differentiable function, and that is in the closed interval 0 to 4. The area of the region bounded by f prime and x in the interval 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and 3 to 4 are given. I'm just going to write those area numbers here. So this is 2, this is 6, this is 10, and this is 14. The graph f prime has horizontal tangents at these points. It means that the peaks, horizontal tangent of f prime means this point, this point, this point, this point and this point, where it is a horizontal tangent, right? So those are also given to us. I think I can mark this. So this maxima basically is given as 0.6. This minima is given as 1.6. This maxima is given as 2.5. And this is given as 3.5 over here. Okay, this is just, I'm writing the information here. On what open interval in 0 to 4 is the graph of f, not f prime, f decreasing and concave down? So f is decreasing when its derivative is negative, and f is concave down when its double derivative is also negative, right? Double derivative when is negative, another way to say is f prime should be decreasing. I hope this is clear. This is pretty important, that f prime negative means the function is decreasing, and f prime decreasing means the function is concave down. So let's see where is the function negative first. So function is negative over here and here, but we also have to find where is the function decreasing, because this is f prime. That's what I'm looking for. So clearly the function is decreasing in what? This particular region, and then this particular region as well. So for part A, I'm just gonna say that in the open interval, since they're saying open interval, don't worry about that. So I'm gonna say that 1 to 1.6 union 3 to 3.5. That should be my answer, where the function is matching these attributes. Okay. Then find the absolute minima of the function f in this interval. So absolute minima of this function means I have to use the candidates test. So for that, I need to first find the critical point. And critical points are the points where f prime is 0 or undefined. I don't see f prime to be undefined anywhere. It's just 0 at 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to make a table over here about the critical points and endpoints as well, because I'm using the candidates test. So I'm going to say that endpoints are 0 and 4, and the critical values are 1, 2, 3, and 4 over here. And I need to find the value of f at all these points. And remember, what is f? After all, f is nothing but the integration of f prime, and integration is nothing but sign sensitive area. But for integration, you do need a reference point. And yes, a reference point is given to us, that f of 2 is 5. It's easier to find the numbers that are after 2. So let's do that first. So for example, if I need to find f of 3, then I just add an area of 10 to f of 2, which is 5. So this is 15. F of 2 is already given as 5. And if I want to go to 4, I will subtract 14, because this is a negative area. So if I subtract 14 from here, I get 1. And remember, they are asking the minimum value, right? Minimum value over here. So far, minimum is this. Now, if I go backwards from 5, then I need to find the area between 1 and 2, which is 6. But since I'm going backward, I will do negative of a negative area, which is positive. So I will add 6, which will become 11. And then I go back. So I will do negative of positive area, which is negative 2, which is 9. So yes, clearly the minimum is this using candidates test. So absolute minimum of the function is 1. That's the answer. Since they are not asking x value, they're just asking absolute minimum of the function. So we're going to return the answer as 1. It's optional. You can say that it is 1 at x equal to 4, but I'll just like to keep it very clean that the minimum value is 1 or if you want to write minimum value is 1 at f x equal to 4, or f of 4 is equal to 1 is the minimum value. All right, guys, the next one is evaluate 0 to 4 of these things. Isn't that a U sub? I think that's a U sub, right? Yeah, that has to be a U sub. I'm going to take my U as fx. So du will become f prime x dx, right? So remember, bounds will change. F of x is replaced by u, and f prime x dx from this one is replaced just by du. Okay, the bounds will become f of 0, that's the first bound, and f of 4, that's the other bound, because these are the bounds of x. And if I plug in x here, one by one, I'll get the bounds of u, right? So the bounds will change. What is f of 0, guys? 9. And what is f of 4? 1. So that's 9 and that's 1. So this is 9 and this is 1. This is going to look like u square over 2 integration from the bounds are from 9 to 1. So I put the upper bound here, which is 1 square over 2, and lower bound, which is 9 square over 2. So this is going to look like, I believe, 1 minus 81 over 2. Minus 80 over 2 is just minus 40. So the answer for this one should be negative 40. And then I need to find the function g is given by this. So what is g prime to? Isn't that product rule, guys? It has to be a product rule, right? So gx is given as x cube f of x. So g prime is going to be first term as it is, derivative of f is f prime, then f prime as it is, sorry, f as it is, and the derivative of x cube is 3x squared. So g prime 2 is going to be 2 cube 8, f prime 2, f of 2, 2 square 4, 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, what is f prime 2? F prime 2 is just reading from the curve. F prime, oh, that's good. F prime 2 is just 0. So that entire thing is, boom. And f of 2 from our candidates guy, f of 2 is 5. Also, it's given in the question, honestly. There you go. F of 2 is 5. So I'm just gonna borrow that 5 here, and 5 times 12 is 12 times 5 is 60, I believe. So g prime 2 is going to be 60. That is our answer to the last part. Right, guys, I hope this video made sense to you and it was helpful. Just as a reminder, you can download this worksheet from the link in the description. And if you need private tutoring, feel free to reach out. Thank you.